So, the purpose of today's session is to introduce the general topic of digestive health and to talk a little bit about the changes that can occur to our gut after a brain injury. The purpose of today's session is not to remember all of the details, but to maybe spark an interest that you can follow up with your GP or health team. As an overview, we're going to talk about four key areas. Firstly, we are going to talk a little bit about the digestive system and the process around how our bodies digest food. We're then going to talk about the brain and the nervous system and how they connect with the digestive system. We will then look at some of the changes that happen to the digestive system after a brain injury and why these happen. To finish off, we are going to talk a little bit about some general advice and tips for good digestive health. We're going to start off today by looking at what is the digestive system and breaking it down into simple parts. The digestive system is also sometimes referred to as the digestive tract or the gut. The digestive system includes the parts of the body that take in food and drink, breaks them down, absorbs what your body needs from the food, and then gets rid of what your body doesn't need. Starting at the mouth, the digestive system is a long tube that moves all the way through our body to the bottom. Some parts of the hollow tube seen here are the mouth and the esophagus, the stomach and the intestines. And some of these organs that help digestion are solid organs, and they include the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. All of these organs have different roles that help the body process food and keep the body healthy. So, what happens to food once we've eaten it? What happens inside the body? As I mentioned, different parts of our body have different roles in digesting food. These mechanisms include mechanical, so physically crunching food like chewing, and then we have chemical, where our body adds digestive juices, and then we have bacteria that help break down the food. So let's break it down literally and go on an adventure through the different stages of digestion, starting from the top. Here we have a pear. Once we take a bite in our mouth, our teeth, tongue, and saliva mash up the pear into a soft ball ready to swallow. After we have swallowed, the mushy ball of pear moves down the tube from the mouth that leads down into the stomach. In the stomach, digestive juices are added from those solid organs we mentioned before and help break down the pear even more. The stomach squeezes and rolls the pear around, that mechanical action that we spoke about before, to help mush it around more and break it down more. Here it turns into more of a liquid. After a few hours, the liquidy mushed pear leaves the stomach and moves along into the intestines. Here, the intestines also squeeze and move the food along, which breaks down and mushes the food even more. Inside our intestines, we have bacteria. This bacteria is a normal and important part of digestion. In the intestines, the bacteria helps to break down the pear into even smaller parts. Here, in the intestines, nutrients from the pear are then absorbed or moved into the body through the bloodstream. Nutrients are the very small parts of food that when our body absorbs them, they help keep our bodies healthy. Once inside our body, the nutrients from the food help our body to live. Nutrients help us grow, they help give us energy, help keep our organs, including our brain, working well. They repair any damage in our body and keeps us healthy and prevents us from getting sick. Okay, now back to the intestines. Now, whatever nutrients are not absorbed into the body continue passing through our intestines and alongside any other waste our body doesn't need. It then leaves the body as poo, or what your doctor may call a bowel motion. So we mentioned before about bacteria that lives inside our digestive system. Some other names for this bacteria include gut bacteria, microbes, the gut microbiome, or gut flora. From the mouth through to the intestines, the digestive system is home to trillions of microbes with many different types of bacteria. Some of this is beneficial bacteria and some of it can be harmful. A helpful way to imagine this is like a garden. The different types of bacteria are different types of plants in your garden. Some are healthy plants, and others are like weeds or invasive species. Did you know that the bacteria in your gut also plays an important role in the health of your brain and immune system? But how does the gut know what to do when? Your brain and your gut are always communicating. The brain sends messages to the gut sends messages back to the brain. This is sometimes called the brain-gut connection. So how do the brain and gut talk to each other? So they communicate in three main ways. The first one is through nerves that run between the brain and the gut. Secondly, through little particles called hormones. And thirdly, through the microbes that we talked about before, that bacteria. So, what are hormones? Hormones are tiny chemicals that send messages to different parts of the body that have different jobs. Imagine them like tiny postmen dropping off mail to different parts of the body. After a brain injury, a common change to the body can be changes to the digestive system. Like each brain injury is different, the potential impacts on the digestive system are different for everyone too. Some people may experience changes, other people won't experience any changes at all. But why does this happen? So the brain is the control center for the body, like the post office, and the gut and the brain are always talking to each other. When an injury occurs to the brain, messages between the brain and the gut can be disrupted. Like a postman might get confused if he gets the wrong address on a letter from the post office and doesn't know where to deliver it, or what's on the letter might not be quite right or make sense. So, what are some possible impacts to the digestive system after a brain injury? It's important to remember that not everyone who has a brain injury will experience these symptoms. Every person's body is different. These are just some of the commonly reported symptoms after a brain injury. The time it takes for food to move through your body may be different than before your brain injury. Some people report that their digestion feels slower and they may experience what we call constipation or have difficulty in going to the toilet. Some people may find that going to the toilet and their bowel motions can feel much quicker. This can lead to feelings of pain, discomfort, and changes in the way that we go to the toilet. Here's our imaginary garden in our gut again. For some people, after a brain injury, they can get an imbalance of some of the bacteria in their gut. There can be more of one particular type of bacteria than others. Sometimes the gut can have more harmful bacteria and it can change our bowel motions. Changes to our bacteria can actually impact our mood and our emotions. Some of the reasons why your bacteria might change also includes things like the medication you may have been on during your treatment, including things like antibiotics. Another possible issue is something called leaky gut. This is when the walls of the intestine become too loose or leaky. The picture helps show a very close-up, imaginary picture of what inside our intestines might look like. Normally, the intestine walls act like a barrier and keep the harmful bacteria and toxins out of the blood. But if the walls of the intestine become leaky and they have gaps in them, harmful bacteria and toxins can slip through these small gaps and enter the bloodstream. When this happens, it can irritate other parts of the body, including organs and the brain. This irritation is called inflammation. Inflammation can weaken the immune system. This makes it harder for the body to fight infections, and we may get sick more easily. If you're worried about your digestive health or you have symptoms that worry you, it's important to speak to your doctor or health professional. We're going to talk about some general tips for a healthy digestive system. It's important to please remember that this is only general advice and that people's nutrition and physical activity requirements will be different. Your doctor or dietitian may prescribe a specific diet after your brain injury to help you recover. The first tip is to try for a balanced diet. This looks like eating a range of different whole foods. The term whole foods means eating foods that are not highly processed. Processed food is another word for food made in a factory, for example, like a packet of chips. A balanced diet includes a wide variety of fruit and vegetables. An easy way to have a wide variety is to go for a wide range of different colours of fruits and vegetables. Fibre is an important part of maintaining good digestive health. Fibre is found in plant foods such as fruit and vegetables and grains, things like bread, pasta, and cereals. Fibre can keep your bowels healthy and keeps your food moving along and keeps your bowel motions regular. As part of a balanced diet, there are also other foods that are important. But we're not going to go into these details today because everyone's food requirements might be different. Drinking water can help with moving food through the digestive system and is important to keep you hydrated. Try to avoid or limit alcohol. Alcohol has shown to cause damage to the brain and digestive system. Find some exercise that feels good for your individual body. These can be gentle movements and movements that are adapted to suit your ability, and moving your body can help with regular digestion. Because of the two-way communication between the gut and the brain, practicing mindfulness and reducing stress where possible can help with gut health and regular normal bowel motions. It works both ways. Scientists have found that when our gut health is good, it has the ability to improve our mental health and positive feelings. It's important to acknowledge that after a brain injury, there are many factors that can change what we eat. Some people might experience a fixation on a particular type of food or the same type of food, or have cravings for more processed foods. Some people, after the changes to their brain, might not recognize when they feel hungry or when they feel full. Some people may only be able to eat certain foods or certain textures, especially if they have trouble swallowing. It's just important to acknowledge these, as it might sound simple to eat well to support digestive health, but there are many things that impact our food choices, and it is important to be kind to yourself. Behavior change and changing habits occurs over time, sometimes just by making simple swaps and not changing everything all at once can help it feel more sustainable for long-term change. So where can you go for more support? A doctor or a dietitian can support you to talk about your individual needs and help you overcome some of the challenges that you may be experiencing. Your doctor might refer you to a dietitian or a digestive health specialist if you would like to talk about food and digestive health recommendations that are specific to you. So you can see a dietitian through a referral from your GP, but you can also see a private dietitian as well. So today we talked a little bit about the digestive system or the gut and the process around how our bodies digest food. We've then introduced the topic of the brain and the nervous system and how these are connected to the gut. We've then talked a bit about the changes that can happen to the digestive system after a brain injury and what some of these symptoms might be. Next, we talked a little bit about some general advice and tips for good digestive health and who you can go to for more advice and specialised support. I welcome anyone who has any questions to please contact the Brain Injury Association of Tasmania, either through the phone number on the screen at the bottom or our email. We're always here to support you, and we'll do the best that we can to link you in with the right support services.